morning. How is everybody doing this good Sunday morning? You see it by the title, you see the title. What we talking about today? We are talking about colorists, if we're colorists in this society. This topic has came up a million times, and it's surrounding what happened with Chris Brown recently during his tour stop in LA, and he was dancing on stage with Kayla Nicole, and it sparked something online of that he's a colorist and he don't like anybody on stage darker than a plastic bag or something like that. I'm not sure who started that. I'm not sure who started that, but that clearly came from somewhere. That came from somewhere. So we're gonna talk about it today. Is Chris Brown colorist? Because he didn't held this title for a while. You know, people have called him colorist for a while. But we finna dive into it, and I'm gonna talk about my own experience of being called colorist, and when somebody said something to me as being a black girl. So we're gonna talk about a lot of things in this video, and I want the people who see this video to talk back to me and let me know, am I colorist? Let me know, is the people in Hollywood, are they colorists? What exactly is colorist? We're gonna find this out. And I have my iPad with. Oh, let me see. I have my iPad with me, and we're gonna look up what colorist means. We're gonna look up what a preference means, so we can try to get down to business here. Because is it okay that we keep doing this to Chris Brown and not doing this to everybody? Is everybody a colorist, or why is it just Chris Brown is labeled as a colorist? So we're gonna talk about it right now. So let's dive into this video. But before we get there, before we start even talking, I want you guys to go right now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, okay? And we're gonna get right into this video. So give yourself a moment. It's not gonna cost you anything. So put the like button, hit the subscribe button. So first let's dive into Chris Brown for a second. So Chris Brown, as we all know who he is one of the biggest R&B singers in the world. He's on tour right now around the world. He just left here in Vegas. I went to go see him the other day. And so he's one of the biggest R&B singers around the world. He have, is it 3 baby mamas? He have 3 baby mamas. The Guzman lady, the lady that's has his son, and then the other lady. I don't even know his other baby mama name. I don't even remember what she looked like, but I'm sure she liked the rest of them. All of he have a girlfriend right now, Jada something, and she looked like all the rest of them, to me. A racially ambiguous woman. Right, racially ambiguous women. All of his women look exactly the same. If I can find a picture of all of his girls, I'll put it like right here. So all of his women has a certain look to them. They bright-skinned women. Oh, I need some. Ooh, can't park here. Too much light. So racially ambiguous women. They all look Asian or some kind of exotic. They look alike, right? hold on, let me park. All right, so yeah. So all of his ladies is racially ambiguous, right? All look a certain way. His girlfriend now, Jada something, looks just like the rest of them, right? So I think the one I really consider black was Rihanna, and she was Caribbean. So, but we feel the ways, and I'm trying to figure out why. Do we not feel the ways about, like Usher right now? He's married to a white woman. I think she's white. He don't get any slack. Why? Because he was married to another black woman. At one point, that clearly didn't work, and I don't even think they even get along. And I think all of Usher's other baby mamas are pretty much white. But I guess this isn't a white or black thing, right? That your guys' problem, the people who has the problem, is black women who is like my complexion or darker, who feels rejected by somebody that they love. So instead of accepting that he has a type, what he likes, we label him as a colorist. But now I'm trying to figure out why though. Do you guys not have a preference? Is it not okay for him to have a preference? Is he wrong for liking a specific type of person? Just like everybody else, right? So black women feels a way when rich black men date white women. That's all of them. Do we give the same? Do we label them as colorists? Let's take Jamie Foxx. It's a real true story. True story. Jamie Foxx had a health scare. Did a whole comedy special and said I'm gonna date black women. And as soon as he got back up on his feet, he caught in the Caribbean or the Bahamas or wherever he at on a boat with a whole bunch of white women and white women in his car. He ain't seen him with not one black woman since he been back on his feet. I think he got a little bit of backlash, but I don't even think he gave a fuck because with him, he got more white women on his arm than what we saw in the blogs. But we don't say anything to Jamie because he's known to date white women, right? That's his preference. I don't think he dislikes black women. He just won't date black women. His preference is white women. I went to go see Jamie twice when he was big on his music and he went on tour. The first time I went, I saw him at the Mirage, and it was there was a blaming like the alcohol party, blaming on drink party or whatever. I mean tour, and T-Pain was there, and Floyd Mayweather was there. He was throwing money. Paul Wall was there. It was so many celebrities there. Nelly was there. It was so many. We had a great time. The second time I saw him when he went on his second tour, I was actually pregnant the second time, but I love Jamie Foxx, so I went to go see him at the club. Big as a house. Do you hear me? Big as a house. He had a VIP in this one, and all in his VIP section, and he had the eagle in the back of his head, and I still question where the hell is the eagle. But he had the eagle in the back of his head. And in this VIP section, baby, all white women. Everything wrong. And he didn't Jamie give a fuck. I was literally right there at his thing. And he saw me. He probably was looking like, why the fuck is this pregnant lady in the club? And he definitely saw me there. And you think he gave a fuck about any black woman that was in here who loved Jamie Foxx? Hell no. He liked his white women. So is that colorist? Is that being colorist, or is it a preference? Or Michael B. Jordan, he liked his white women. He dated whatchamajigga, Steve Harvey's daughter, not because he really liked her. It's because he was getting a lot of heat, and he needed to show that he was all about black women. Once that shit was over, guess who he was dating again? A white woman. I think Dave Chappelle's wife is Asian. Who actually surprised me recently, who actually surprised me recently was the singer Mario. Now this one was actually shocked me. Because Mario is all about, I talk about black love, and he live in Atlanta where black is everywhere. I didn't see him having a white anything. I just didn't, that one just kind of took me. But clearly Mario have a preference too. And his white is right. So all these men in Hollywood who have like white women or even light-skinned women, are they wrong for dating someone who's my complexion? I mean, who's darker than my complexion, who's a whole nother race? So why does Chris Brown get labeled a colorist versus he has a preference? Because it's not like he didn't date Rihanna. But he don't get any credit for that because ever since Rihanna, they're like, you don't date like black women. When we see you with a black woman, then we'll get off your ass. And then you see all these videos of them trying to get in the club and they're not allowed because they're too dark. And they saw a whole bunch of videos, saying that he only let certain race of people in, racially ambiguous women or white women in his VIP, and they're mad because they're not in there. Like, what are we upset about? If we know that that's what he likes, then what are we upset about? Why we keep trying to get with someone if you know that you don't have a chance. Now, what I will agree with, what I will say about it, if Chris is doing that thing, if Chris is doing that in general, then he's wrong for that. Like, he's wrong for that. Anybody should be allowed in your VIP. You know who you're attracted to, right? So these are your fans. Your fans want to be in your VIP. You don't gotta date them. You don't have to sleep with them. If he's excluding a whole, color of folk because of what they look like, because they're too dark and he just don't want to be around it or whatever, then shame on Chris for excluding his fans and people who love him because of what they look like. Shame on him for that. But why are black women keep trying if they know they don't have a chance with him? Do they believe that they're going to be the exception if they Chris Brown see him? I'm the exception. Chris Brown likes what he likes. And then they have things on there with Kayla Nicole, like, or whoever video. He's like, you're Chris Brown's type. You're Chris Brown's. Oh, I think it was a nurse or somebody. She did a video of like, my co-workers don't know I'm pressure or something. And people was like, you're Chris Brown type. The world know what Chris Brown type is. So why the hell is he keep getting labeled a colorist? Why is people having such a problem? Can somebody explain it to me in the comment section below? Why are they having such a problem? I was going to look up colorists. I said maybe when I get on my bus, when I get some internet, I'll look it up, and I'll just insert that video. But I'm gonna look up colorists and look up preference, and I'm gonna insert the video so we can, see the difference in between the two, right? But I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna step off of Chris Brown in a minute. But I just wanted y'all to just think about it. Is he a colorist, or do he have a preference? And is that such a bad thing if you do have a preference? You don't just want to date anybody, right? I know I don't. So let's talk about me for a minute. I'm gonna throw myself in the ring. This is just driving me crazy. Anyway, whatever. It's just driving me crazy. So anyway, let's talk about me for a moment. I ever thought about it about one of my friends, and I'm gonna tell you why. They kept asking me for a threesome, right? And I was like, no. For other things, but I also eventually told her, I just don't find your man attractive like that. And she was like, what? What are you talking about? My man is fine as fuck. I said, to you. He's fine as fuck to you. He's not fine as fuck to me, but he's fine as fuck to you. And she couldn't believe I said that. She was like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, my man is motherfucking fine. I said, again, to you. He's not fine to me. I said, there's plenty of things about him that I don't find attractive at all. And she was like, name some. I said, well, I hate his gap. I hate how skinny he is. I don't like skinny men like that. I said, I don't like, I'm like, he dressed well, but on top of that, he's a little too dark for me. And she was like, too dark? Bitch, she said, bitch, you dark. I said, I know, that's the problem. He's too dark for me. He may not be too dark for you, but he's too dark for me. I can be like, what is she doing with her hair? I'm trying to make it where it's not bothering me so much, because it's just bothering me. So okay, I think I'm just keeping like this for the remainder of the video, because it was just bothering me so much. So it's bothering me now, but I'm just trying to it's just bothering me. Like, it's just bothering me. So let me get through this video, because it's really bothering me. Just looking at it is bothering me. So so I was like, I'm like, yeah, he's too dark for me. She was like, bitch, you're dark. I said, I know. And I don't like dark men. She's like, bitch, you're a colorist. I said, I'm not a colorist. I don't hate dark men. I never said I hate them. I never said they're ugly. I never said I never said anything negative about them. I just said I have a preference. I like lighter men. I said going all the way back to my dating history. If you look at my dating history, it's always been a light man. My ex husband is light. My other baby daddy's light. My ex boyfriend in high school was light skinned. Eddie was light skinned. Sam was light skinned. Swale was light skinned. Everybody that I actually dated in my life, actually dated, was light skinned. I said I don't know if that was intentional, but that's what's gonna happen. I would sleep with a dark skinned guy. Absolutely. I would sleep with them, but I wouldn't date them. And that's just how it ended up for me. And it way a long time ago. Long time ago. One of my old friends from back home, we was on the phone talking, and she was like, she asked me would I ever like if she was like would I ever like date her or between her and her cousin. And her cousin name was Heavy. I'm just making a mess. And this oatmeal is just not working. And I was like, no, you're not my type. She was like, what the fuck you mean I'm not your type? I was like, well, I like them long hair, thick red blonde, like Lil Wayne said. And she was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Well, I'm not good enough. I said, I didn't say you was good enough. You wasn't good enough. I just said I have a preference, and my preference is light skin. I like light skin, and I can't help it. I always have been like that. I always will be like that. I was just talking to one of my old friends last night. His name is George. I mean, not George, Gregory. And he's darker than me. And he was like, you and your motherfucking light skinned man, you need to come on the dark side. I have a preference. I said it's not like I consider black men ugly or anything. Because clearly there's beautiful black men out there. Look at Morris Chestnut. Hello. And like, what I say with Morris Chestnut? Hello. Who wouldn't? I'm like, but I'm prone. I'm like my physically attraction. My attraction, let's just say it, is to someone who is lighter. It just is. It's hard to explain. If you put a dark skin and a light skin right next to each other and ask me to choose, it wouldn't be a hard decision for me because I'm gonna naturally gravitate to the light skinned man. I'm just naturally gonna gravitate to him. I don't see that as a big problem. It's just a preference that I have, and I always like that. I've always been like that. So am I considered a colorist because I like a dark man? I mean, I like a light man. Would I date a Mexican? No, because I don't find Mexican men attractive. Is that does that mean something because I don't, or it's a preference? Or would I date the Cuban or the Latin guy who has a little bit more sex appeal to me? You know, I would date the Latin guy over the Mexican. Is that being colorist or whatever, or racist, or is that a preference? Is that a preference that you have? Like, why does Chris Brown as a poster boy to being called a colorist when no one else get any name calling? No one else does. Gary Owen is a white man, and he will tell you in a month he don't date white women. He only dates black women. Is he a colorist to his own people? Is he considered a colorist? He's flat out said, "Oh, you will never see me date a white woman." Chris Brown has never said, "I will never date a black woman." He probably don't have to say because he probably would get a lot of backlash, and his black audience would feel the ways about it. But why does Gary Owen get a pass? And he's flat out said it, and he will only date a black woman. Versus Chris Brown, who clearly black women want him to want them, and because he don't, now he's a colorist. Like, what do you guys want? Is it just because y'all want to be accepted so bad by him, and y'all hurt because y'all not accepted? Like, what is it? Why can't the man like who he like and date who he like without you guys saying something about it? Because you guys want to be the ones want to be accepted, and you guys are hurt that you're not. That's the problem. That's a problem. You guys are hurt. If you had your own lives outside of Chris, it wouldn't bother you. I don't care two fucks if who Chris dates, likes, or whatever. And I'm a one of the biggest Chris Brown's biggest fan. I have a whole life out here in Vegas. Who he likes and who he dates, that don't mean anything to me. Okay, good for Chris. I'm like, so I'm gonna need y'all, you black women out there, get some self esteem, because who he dates it shouldn't matter to you. Like, it really shouldn't. And I have one more story. This is the first time. I have one more story. This is like the first time that I ever felt like inferior to someone of the lighter skin. Real shit. Lighter skin. So I had this friend, rest in peace, Sheena Clay, right? It was me, her, and another girl. The other girl was Sheena Clay's best friend. So we go to the mall, and we at the mall, and we doing our thing, and we having a good time, and this was the first time, because back then I was the shit. You hear me? I was very skinny, had long hair, very pretty, can pull any man that I want to at the time, and so we at the mall, and this is the first time I'm walking next to somebody light skinned. She was really light skinned, small boobs, nice small waist, and a fat ass. Right. So we are walking through the mall, and I don't ever have a problem getting a man, right? So they were all at this time I was getting stopped like left and right. I'm young, older men, younger men, whoever want to date me, they gonna walk up to me. This is the first time I'm walking next to somebody who is light skinned with small boobs, a small waist, and fat ass, and I don't even get noticed. Okay, I don't get noticed at all. They walk straight to the light skinned girl right in the middle, and me and Sheena is on opposite sides, and we're like, "Hello, are we not here? Like, are we not a part of this?" Like, they didn't give a fuck. Every single man, every single boy at the time, whatever, walked directly to her and was like, "Oh, you're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. Can I have your number?" And that was the first time I ever felt inferior and insecure. But these guys who disregarded me because I was dark, are they colorists? Are they colorists? Or did they have a preference? Even though it hurt my feelings, like, I was just ignored and disregarded because I was standing next to somebody who was lighter than me. But usually, especially in the black community, that's kind of just how it went. You know, they like light skin. Even in porn, when people watch porn, they like interracial porn, they like black dick with lighter skin. They don't like to see dark and dark. Is that a preference, or is that being colorist? Hmm? Is it? I need clarification. I need you guys to talk to me down below. What is the difference? What is considered what? Because I think people are getting confused. What is colorist? What is a preference? So even though that hurt my feelings in the mall back in the day, what were they colorists? No. I think those boys had a preference. They liked light skin with fat asses. Lastly, I had another incident where I was dating. Well, not dating. I was just really sleeping with this light skinned guy. Fine, he was totally my type. This is the first time I've ever been in a situation where somebody told me that you were cute to be a black girl. Now, in his situation, he was biracial. He used to live. I think he was from California, San Francisco, or something like that. But he was used to being with all white people, so he's not used to being like with around black people. So his preference is to date white women because that's all he's been around. So we ended up sleeping together because we stayed in the same apartment complex. And then he said it to me. He looked me dead in the face and said, "You know what? You are so pretty to be a black girl." I didn't know how to take that. Like, how do you take? What do you mean? If so, so is other black women ugly? So was other black women ugly? So when you look at black women that are unattractive to you, for you to say I'm pretty to be black, I'm pretty to be a dark girl, is he colorist, or was that a preference because of what he was used to being around? He grew up around a certain thing. He grew up around white women, so he didn't know anything else. So is that a preference, or is he colorist? Because he just completely don't even think black women are beautiful at all. So is he colorist? So help me understand the difference between colorist and so and define it completely in the comment section below. Send me the information. Let me know what situation is what. So is a men in Hollywood who want to date white women colorists, or they're not colorists, they just have a preference? Is the guys in the mall who want to date the light skin wanted to interested in the light skinned girl? Is there colorist? Is Gary on colorist? He don't even date any of his own people. He will only date black women. I feel there's more colorist than anything. So you guys explain it to me so I can have a better understanding, so I can understand why you guys are always on Chris Brown here. And what do you want Chris Brown to do to appease you guys? What do you want him to do? Because of you, he done deactivated his social media. And I wouldn't blame him. He's busy anyway. He's around the world making money. And we're on the internet watching him making money, going to his shows and vibing out to his music. And we're upset because of what he likes to fuck on. We're upset about that. Right? So let me know in the comment section below. Talk back. Because I'm interested to know what you guys are thinking and how you guys are thinking it. And why you guys are thinking it. I'm interested to know. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys later. I don't think I had a solution to the problem. I don't think I had anything. I just wanted to have a quick, nice debate on what you guys say, what the difference between colorists and what is not. So I don't think I proved anything in this situation. I just wanted to have a nice little conversation. So tell me, guys, what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay, you can tell I'm not on the bus. I'm in home, but I wanted to read the definition so I can close this video out, right? Of colorism and the difference between colorism and preference. And I wanted to kind of deep dive into it for a second when I'm reading it so I can get a clear understanding, because with all the chatter that's going around, I needed to understand myself. What's the difference between colorism and preference? And if everything that everybody is saying, is it technically true? Is it rooted in colorism, even if it is a preference? So let's figure out the definition. So colorism is the prejudice and discrimination against people with darker skin, often within the same racial or ethnic group, while a preference is a personal choice or liking for something or someone. The two are distinct. Colorism is a systemic bias, whereas a preference is an individual inclination. However, a preference can be colorist if it is rooted in or perpetuated by colorist behavior, where someone dismisses or degrades people based on their skin tone. What is colorism? Social hierarchy. Okay? Colorism creates a social hierarchy that favors lighter skin over darker skin, impacting individuals even within a same race or ethnic group. Okay? Systemic discrimination. It encompasses systemic discrimination, bias, and prejudice based on skin tone, influencing social status, economic opportunities, and even concept of beauty. Okay, we understand what that is. Hollywood. Clearly, that's what happens in Hollywood. Okay. What is a preference? Personal inclination. A preference is simply an individual liking or choice for certain qualities. Okay. So if we going by that definition alone, is what Chris Brown doing colorism, or is that a preference? Let's keep going. Just by that definition alone, what is a preference? What I like, it's a preference. It doesn't mean the other one isn't equally good. It's just something, a quality that I like. But let's keep going. Can be benign. Preference can be benign and unrelated to harmful biases, such as the color of the preference to a color or a certain flavor. Social conditioning. However, many preferences, especially in dating, are not purely biological, but are socially and individually conditioned by upbringing and societal factors. Okay? Now, the relationship between colorism and preference. When preferences become problematic, a preference becomes problematic or colorist when it's used to devalue or dismiss other skin tones, or when it stems from internalized social prejudices, societal prejudice. Okay, so that could be when Chris, as ladies like to put up videos saying that they can't get into his club because he don't like darkies in his section. Okay, that could be problematic, as they say. A preference can be problematic. Internalized biases. People often don't experience this bias as much. Or colorist when it's used to devalue this. Often don't experience their bias as much, but rather as a preference. Questions of origin. Therefore, when someone claims a racial or skin tone based preference, it's crucial to question its origin and whether it's rooted in internalized anti-blackness or other colorist beliefs. Example. Now this is what gets tricky. It says a statement like "I prefer light-skinned people" can be a colorist statement, especially when it's presented as a natural, innocent choice. So, me saying, or Lil Wayne, or anybody who dates someone who's lighter skinned, if we verbalize, we like lighter skin, that makes us a colorist. So if we don't say it, and so I need someone like a psychologist or somebody to break it down, because it's not that we're self-hating. So that's what's being pushed out there, that is from self-hate or systemic racism or how we grew up or whatever it is. I grew up just fine. I dated my boyfriends in high school was black. I mean, darker than me, or my skin tone. Like, it's not that I'm self-hating, or I don't think Chris Brown is self-hating, or anyone else who's dating a black woman who's fair skinned, or dating a black man who's fair skinned. They're not self-hating. It's just what they like. And because of Chris Brown dating women who's not black. So maybe if it would be better if he was dating somebody who's black but lighter skin. But even if he did that, he would be doing it now to appease the people who's calling him a colorist. I don't think he should change what he likes, because he has a specific type, and that is what it is. He likes a specific type. And the people who's complaining, in my opinion, because it's not them, is people who they want to be chosen and they want to be Chris's lady, and because they're not his type, they get upset. But I will say again, in his sections is terrible. If that is what he does when he comes to the club, and if he's not allowing everybody in his section, then that's discrimination. So then that's problematic if that is something that he actually does. I don't go to Chris Brown after party. I'm not that needing to, even though I'm a big fan, I don't need to be in, or a groupie. I don't need to be a groupie. Those are groupie acts to me. They're people who just gotta be around them, want to be in the mix, gotta have a camera in his face. I don't need to do all that. I don't even need to go to the club. I went to a concert and I go home. I go live my life. Not liking my complexion doesn't make or break me. So the people that it makes or breaks is those people who live and die by Chris Brown, and just, their heart is broken by him. I don't give a shit that much. So I still don't have an answer if I am colors or anybody in the world is colors, unless they actually say, I don't. Now the people who is walking around saying, the black men who's walking around saying, I don't date black women, and having podcasts and doing videos all over the internet, Those people are clearly colorists. Those people are clearly colorists. Let's talk about that. Are we talking about that? All the millions of videos that you have on TikTok and all the millions of videos you have all around the world saying, men literally looking at black women and saying, I don't date you. I don't find you attractive. I don't do this. You. That's clearly colorism. So what is Chris Brown doing because he date a certain race or a certain group of women that look a certain way? I don't consider that colorism. I just consider that that's his type. That's what get his Peter Wacker up. That's what get his attention. He's not on her bashing black women. Now show me a video instead of calling him calling us ugly. Show me a video where he's talking bad about a dark-skinned woman. Then okay. But turn that mirror around to the millions of men who's on here comparing us to every other race, and we're this and we're that, and reason why they don't date us because we're this and we're that. That's clearly colorism. They have no problem saying it. Popping the balloon shows that. I don't date black women. So, I would just say ease up on the guy. Ease up on him. That's it.